Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again. So, last time we left off, we did hands and feet. Not gonna lie, didn't think it'd take that long. But looking at our model, guy looks pretty nice, honestly. I've actually had far worse models come out of these processes. Don't feel bad if yours doesn't look as good, or if yours looks better, whoosha. Anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and today we're gonna be working strictly on the face. Now, just for the record, we're just gonna isolate his face and strictly follow up on that. And maybe if we can get around to it, we're going to, fix up the topology a bit, do the duplication, and get ready for the next and final of our basics tutorials. After these basic tutorials, we're gonna start going into more advanced things. So I hope you guys are ready, and let's get to work, shall we? So, first off, I'm gonna go to Show, Isolate Selected, View Selected. This is literally going to isolate this little area, which is perfect. We're going to hit 1 because we need to work in this exact way. So, oh, sorry. Okay. So looking at our head, we got ourselves a nice little neck. The head's not too shabby. We're actually going to pop in and out of wireframe. So we can actually see what we're doing here. So, as you can see, just popping between wireframe and not so wireframe, you can see like there's a little enclave in the back of his head. We need to literally just fix that. Remember, the back of your skull is fairly round, but here's a monster tip. Your skull is not completely round. It is not a ball. It is more of a rounded box. So that makes this really easy for what we're about to go do next. We need to put in 3 major edge loops. One here, one here, one here. Now, these are major because of what we're about to do next. We need to move this down a bit, keeping up with these, and maybe move this back up a bit. There we go. So, grabbing this, we're going to move this forward a bit to about there. And we're even going to move this forward a bit and this back a bit. And I'm sure you guys have already noticed a face is really starting to take shape. Like already we've already got this awkward, almost monkey-like face, which is perfect. So let's see, we're gonna keep moving our topology around just a little bit at a time. Move this down. Okay. Now this back topology we don't need to stress as much. I mean, granted you don't want it to be all wonky because it will affect, stuff later down the line, but don't stress it nearly as much as you think you should. It's not as important. Matter of fact, beyond just moving this around, we're really not going to do much with it. There we go. So now we've got ourselves a dome. So, here comes the next part. And let's move this up just a touch. There we go. We need to actually put in some specialized edge loops in here. So let's grab this and we're going to move this way forward compared to everything else. So this is where your quadra view is really going to come in handy, because you're going to want to pop between your front view and your side view. You can use perspective. It's not going to hurt you at all, but it's not as recommended as one might think. Now, once again, we're just going over basics. little bit later down the line, you might end up using references and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I encourage it. If you can use a reference, go for it. If anything, what we're doing is kind of wrong. You don't want to go without a reference if you can help it. Anyways, moving on. We're going to toss in an edge loop here, very specifically as close to the middle section as possible, and this serves an absolute purpose. It's literally for our eye, which we are going to be making right this moment. We're going to move this around a bit, and we're actually going to try to make this big dent in this skull that we've got so far. We want to make this as round as possible to kind of simulate an eye socket. And then we're going to take this one and we're literally just going to drive this back. So, now that we've got that, we're going to go here into our front view and we're going to use a new tool now. We're going to go into Edit Mesh and we're going to use the Interactive Split tool. Now sometimes this one in the newer versions has this bad habit of screwing up. But whatever. As you click it, you'll notice it's snapping to different areas. We want to snap a literal square in here. Now, if we hit enter and it works, which it did, we get this right here. But if you notice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 5 corners. Well, that's not right. So what we want to do is we want to take the middle of each of these. See, there's where it's screwing up. I knew this would happen. Let's double click this and insert with edge flow. I think we just want detach edge. Nope. Okay, it literally just doesn't want to work with us. So I'm gonna have to teach you guys a loop around. Why mine's not working, I don't know. But this happens every now and again. We're gonna go into Edit Mesh, Cut Face tool. I advise doing this if you can help it. But we're gonna cut the face about here, and then we're going to select this vert and this vert, and clicking here, the merge verts, boom. Now, we're just going to go ahead and do this across the board, because I can almost guarantee it's going to screw up like this all the way through. And we're going to do this, and that. Verts. Now, this is where you're probably going to want your perspective, because you want to be able to select these areas without selecting anything else. And merge, merge, merge. Okay, now that that's been nailed out, we want to go back into our front. We're going to grab these, and just as a shortcut, we're just going to do like this. And boom. Instantaneous, round, simple, easy. Yeah. Okay. So, just looking at our perspective, you can already see how this eye is taking shape. So we're going to go into Edit, Insert Edge Loop, and we're going to add a couple of edge loops in here. I'm just going to do 2 for the time being, and then we're going to grab this, and we're literally going to extrude and yoink this back. Hit G, and do it again, and this time we're going to pull it open just a bit. So on the inside you get this. And we're mimicking that one more time. And then hit delete. Congratulations, you have an eye socket. And what we do with these edge loops is selecting this, we're going to bring that brow forward. And you can also play with these edges right here now and kind of adjust your brow as you see fit. Keep in mind, this is more for later than for now, but it is helpful for the moment. So now we're going to take this and we're really just going to make that crest that holds our eye in place. This is a big anatomical feature for us because, granted, some cartoon characters don't necessarily use this, but keep in mind that us as humans, this is what protects our eye, like, from everything. Nature, wild beasts, you name it, like, this keeps our eye in place. Okay. There we go. Now, this is going to be the next fun part, because this one we're going to have to use that interactive edge loop tool again, and hope like hell it works. Because otherwise we're going to have to do the cut face tool again. And I really am not happy about even having to use that trick in front of you guys. Let's flatten this out just a bit. There we go. Not perfectly flat, but flat enough. Okay, edit. Interactive split tool. Boom, boom, boom. Triangle. Boom, boom, and boom. And it worked. Fantastic. Once again, we got triangles here. We want to connect them to here. And hit enter. Hey, it worked. And here, and boom. Here's a key point. Remember our edge loop from earlier? We're connecting this one from that one triangle and this one. Now, we have just created the most ugly fucking face possible. This thing does not look glorious, but it does look like a face. That is our key point, is this is a face. And you can identify it as such even the way it looks now. Now, you're going to ask, what did we do here? Well, we just literally made a new section for edge loops. This is very important because I literally did not pay attention, and that is mildly problematic. Okay, let's see if we can fix that. I think I know exactly what this is. Interactive interactive split tool. Detach edge. There we go. Should have known that I was screwed up somewhere. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, at least now you guys know what the issue is and probably what went wrong. Anyways, boom. Still looks like a face. Still done. Good to go. Edge. We actually want to grab all these edges and squish them. Like, squish them as close as you can to that center line. There we go. And we're going to impact that a little bit. And move this vert a little bit. And boom. This guy's got a bit of an overbite, but hey, personally I prefer a little bit of an overbite. I don't know about you guys. Underbite makes him look like, he's a bruiser or a brawler. Overbite always means more intelligent for some reason. Anyways, pulling this and plop. And we're going to do it again. And again. And this time we're going to pulling on this one, because we don't want to use the middle one. We literally want only up and down. And we're going to pull like that. And then pulling back again. And what we're going to do is we're going to select this line. Oh. And we're going to select these and delete. And then edit, edge loop. And only up and down once again. And you now have a mouth. And if you hit 3, you've even got room for teeth. Or you could just make those straight out lips and put in different set of teeth later. That's what I plan on doing, and it's generally what I try to do. We're gonna make sure this is as open as possible, and oh, or breaking mesh. We don't want that. So we snag this and boom. There we go. So now we have a mouth. Now a couple of you are going, well, what about nose and ears? Well, essentially what we're going to do is we're going to add more edge loops in here to fix the mouth. There we go. And this is going to give us a lot of ability to form a better face later on, similar to this eye. For now, we're not even going to stress it too much. We're going to grab the brim of his nose, and we're going to pull this forward. And once again, up and down only. There we go. And selecting 3, delete. And we're going to give him a bit of a button nose. So we're going to pull this one out. Once again, shrinking. And same thing over here. We're going to pull this out just a touch. Shrink this down and bring it down. Trying our best not to break the mesh. Then we're going to go edge, edge. Oh, there's an interesting problem. We want to move this. I'm moving the other. There we go. And face. Pull this one up and back. And shrink. And shrink. And we're just gonna add an edge loop in here just so that we can cut this one off properly. Face, delete. And there we go. Congratulations, you have the basic of a face. Now, granted, we still have to put in an ear, and he could definitely look more charming, but this is a basics tutorial. I'm just here to show you guys the basic methodology of getting these characters down. So let's wrap this up, and we'll try and get to the next tutorial, which is actually going to be what I consider the funnest, the sculpting tutorial. So, we're going to pull this one out, and we're going to, actually, let's do this one a bit different. We're going to grab these 3 areas and pull it out. Pull it back just a notch, and then we're going to pull this edge forward a bit. There we go. If you notice, it's not the greatest, looking ear, but it's definitely far from the worst. We're gonna pull this. There we go. And because it is an ear, we're gonna grab these 2 faces, pull this in, shrink it down a bit, and shrink it down again. This time we're gonna turn it a little bit and bring it in this way. And delete. Boom. Okay, that looks weird. Oh, that's why. Doesn't really need to be this elegant all the way through, so We'll grab these edges right here, and we'll just swing them this way. And boom. And there. Kind of looks like Gollum to a degree, but then again, we all do when we kind of pull everything from what is us. So now, we're going to finish up this model real quick. And we're going to pull out his shoulders a bit. And boom. We have ourselves a young gentleman. Looks about, I'd say, 12, 13, give or take. Okay. Now, here's where you want to start cleaning up mesh if you want. But just so that we can kind of wrap this up and get into the next one, we're going to go ahead and hit mesh, mirror geometry, and you've got a couple options here. We're going to just kind of try the X here, and boom, perfect fit. Ah, I messed up on the nose. See, this is why you gotta double check everything. Grab these, delete, mesh. Well, first we want to select object, mesh, mirror geometry. Definitely looks kind of wonky, but let's go ahead and check his seam. Yes, you gotta check all of this. And looks like we don't have any screw ups. That's good to see. Okay. Every now and again, you're going to end up with a couple of mess ups along the seams where things kind of merge together. It's easy enough to fix. I might even show you guys one of these times how to fix it, but it looks good. However, let's just do this for sheer professionalism. Hitting object, we're going to select this. We're going to hit 3 just to make sure, I'm not just blowing smoke. And yeah, everything looks good. Still one of the weirdest looking faces, but we can fix that here in a bit. And we're going to hit mesh, cleanup. You got quite a few options here, but we want faces with more than 4 sides, faces with holes. We want it to select the polygons, and we're going to hit apply. And if you notice, nothing is selected on him. This means that literally he's good to go. So, perfect. Fantastic. Now, if we notice, he's pretty ugly. I mean, he's really ugly. But, this is where we're going to get into something fun. Literally, the next tutorial is going to be sculpting. And we're going to pull him out of this program and into another one called ZBrush. Now, granted, there are several programs you can use. Feel free to use Sculptris. Feel free to use Mudbox. If you don't know what any of these are, feel free to go look at them. There's also an option here where you can do Mesh and Sculpt Geometry Tool. I don't recommend this, but it is an option for those of you who have none of the other following products. Also, for the record, Sculptris is free. That's not even a joke, so there's not really much of an excuse for you not to have one of these programs. But maybe you don't want another program. So this is an option. Just outright, this is an option. However, for the rest of us, we're going to be doing ZBrush and or one of these other programs, and hopefully you follow along with me. Thank you again for coming out, and if you like this video, hit the like button, feel free to comment, and if you like this video, or maybe you enjoy our Let's Plays, feel free to hit subscribe. Thank you again for coming out, and we'll see you next time.